Dealing with standing waves here in the ultra hi-fi room here at Vassal High End as we're getting kind of the things built out. We've done a lot of work on getting the speakers broken in, and as we're doing that and just trying to do some test tracks and just kind of see where things sound, we're discovering that there are definitely some standing waves in the room. So the other day I went through with a tone generator and went 1 hertz at a time, starting at 20 hertz and just going up, discovering where our standing wave issues are here in this room. Now, standing waves are something that not everybody totally understands, and I'm not a physicist, but I'll try to put up an illustration here to kind of show what's going on. But first, let me say this before we do this. A standing wave can create in the room loud spots and soft spots for certain frequencies. So let's do an example. The note A can resonate at 440 hertz. Let's say there's not a standing wave for 440 hertz, and it just goes about the room. The measurements are such that it doesn't compound on itself. But the note B, let's say the note B, which is 494 hertz roughly, let's say 494 hertz does have a standing wave. The phenomenon would be such that, depending on where you are in the room, B could sound substantially louder, or B could sound substantially quieter than A. And so these standing waves are a result of the amplitude, like the peaks and the troughs of the sound wave, kind of remain in the same spot, and there's nodes, so the nodes are going to be the silent spots. So let's bring up that illustration real quick. You'll kind of see here in the illustration that you have a blue wave and a green wave that are equal waves, but they're moving in exactly the opposite direction. And as you can see, where the peaks meet on those two waves, the black wave has a much higher peak. Now that black wave is what we call a resultant wave. And what you're really hearing in a standing wave situation is a resultant wave. And so you have this resultant wave hitting at a higher point in the peak and at a lower point in the trough, because you'll notice that the blue and the green troughs also meet at certain spots. Now you'll also notice that the black wave has a cross point. When there's a peak and a trough, you can actually see where the wave kind of crosses the midpoint there, and there is at that point a node, because that node doesn't move, it doesn't change spots, and that's why in that spot it's really pretty quiet. And that's how these standing waves result. And so we have to break those up somehow. One thing that people do a lot is they use absorption. And absorbers, as you can see, can look something like this. This is a foamed absorber. And as you can see, it has some triangular patterns. That's kind of nice, because when the sound wave hits it, technically what should happen is the sound wave would hit here and then reflect across and then maybe wind up going in a different direction a little bit. And so some people will put it like this, and then they'll put their next one like that, and they'll kind of alternate, whatever. And that does a somewhat decent job. But this really is an absorber. With standing waves, what we want to also use are diffusers. Diffusers are going to make surfaces uneven. So you want to make your wall surfaces pretty uneven to break up these waves so that they travel in different directions. You don't want your standing wave to keep having a constant motion between two spots. And so that's the importance of it. So I've got a video I shot with my phone, and I'm going to pull that up real quick, and let's listen to what happens acoustically, like what your ears experience in the room when you do that. So it's about 1.5 minutes. Take a listen to that, and you can see what's going on. I'll try to shorten the video, so it won't be 1 minute. One of those waves that we found was at about 409 hertz, and that's actually probably the most significant one that I found. I'm going to move the camera so you can hear the difference. But I'm also going to do another demonstration with the sound level meter so you can see the difference in how much that needle moves. So we're going to go ahead and press play and check it out. Okay, so as you could see, we're at 409 hertz there, and at one spot it's loud. At another spot, as you saw it move, like you could hear the sound go away, and then you could hear it come back, and then you could hear it almost go away completely. And really, with the sound pressure level meter, it was very clear. Now the camera and the microphone on the meter weren't in the same location, so you may have not have been hearing exactly the same thing as what you were seeing on the needle, but it's very interesting. So anyway, we're going to be working on correcting that here in the high-end room at the shop, and getting things working so that we're going to really enjoy this and make this room just an absolutely perfect sounding room. So anyway, I'm Ryan with Vassal High End Audio and Home Theater. We're here in the 4 states of Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, serving audiophiles and making people smile.